Good afternoon. We are so excited to be here, and I see familiar faces of my friends and family and neighbors, so thank you for coming out. This is a big day for us, and it's probably my favorite phrase to say lately is, this is a big day for Provo, and it really is. I hope I get to keep saying that over and over again. We're going to start with our announcement, and then after I speak, I'm going to turn the time to Commissioner Ivey and then Commissioner Lee, and then I'll turn the time over to Council Chair Gary Winterton. Okay, so I thought I'd give just a little background to this experience we've had. In the late 1900s, Provo City and Utah County united to bring an Olympic venue to Provo. The effort worked, and we were thrilled to be part of the 2002 Olympics. The Olympic heritage is celebrated every day here at this facility. In 2008, that partnership between Utah County and Provo City was renewed with the formation of the Ice Sheet Authority. Through the Ice Sheet Authority, the county and Provo City have been sharing in the oversight and funding of this venue. Overall, the Ice Sheet Authority and the ice arena itself have been a success story. The utilization numbers here for public skating, figure skating, hockey, fitness, and turf sports are unparalleled in the ice arena industry. The facility has also been described as one of the best transitions of an Olympic venue to daily use ever seen. Visitors from many Olympic host countries have come to Provo to learn how such a success story was made possible. The amount of subsidy required to fund maintenance and operations has steadily declined over the years. Many in Provo and throughout the county were troubled when county leaders decided a little over a year ago to trigger a termination of the existing relationship between the city and county over the ice arena. County leaders had come to a decision that the county was not in the public recreation business. As a result, we have been on a path heading towards an auction of the facility to the highest bidder. Today, we are pleased to announce the facility will not be auctioned. The ice arena, I know that's great news. The ice arena will not be sold to a private party. Instead, Provo City and Utah County have agreed on a new path forward. For the next 10 years, the county will continue making financial contributions towards the facility. We appreciate that the county residents will continue to receive the same pricing as Provo residents, but the county will no longer have a role in management or operations of the facility. From now on, the destiny of the ice arena is in Provo City's hands. We're thrilled about that. Our Parks and Recreation team is second to none and has a proven track record of success, with the Provo Recreation Center being a primary example. Remember, the Rec Center actually contributes money to Provo's general fund. I see this as a great day for Provo. I thank our county commissioners for working with us on this agreement. We have proven once again that with a spirit of dialogue and cooperation, we can achieve good results for our citizens. Thank you.
Truly grateful for the opportunity to be here today, to look into the eyes of these wonderful youth, to share in the spirit of this venue and all that it represents. It represents, as we see behind us, contrast, culture, and courage. It certainly takes courage to lead. It takes courage to compete. As I was sitting here, I couldn't help but think of my own life and reflect on the competitions that I have. I've had the opportunity since I was a young child to chase my dreams and to pursue them. And in the course of pursuing them, I've had the opportunity to win a lot. And the one thing I've learned about winning is that you win the best and the most when you focus on what you do good and you put your talents, your energy, and your drive into enhancing those things that you do good while trying to improve on the things that are weak. As a county, we don't run rec centers very good. It's not how we're designed, it's not how we're built. And as a result, when we were looking at the vast demands placed on Utah County, our ownership and partnership in this facility did not make sense because it was just not something we were equipped to do. But you know who runs rec centers very good? Provo City. That is why we are thrilled to be here today to announce this new partnership and this path moving forward while we become a silent partner in this facility and eventually transfer ownership to Provo. Because we're allowing Provo City to do what they do good, and that's run a facility. And we're doing what we do good, and that's taking care of our taxpayer dollars throughout the county. And part of taking care of that was ensuring that the patrons that come to this facility day to day won't really notice a change after today. It'll continue on. County residents will pay the same fee as Provo residents. You'll have the opportunity to skate, to chase your Olympic dreams, to play hockey, to do those things that bring joy to our citizens, to compete and to have courage. As I look at the youth here today, I would encourage you to realize something very important. It's your willingness to chase your dreams that inspires those of us who are elected to lead you. You inspire us to come together in a spirit of cooperation to solve the challenges and problems that are before us so that we can make sure we provide you those opportunities while ensuring that government exercises its proper role. Your courage and your faith is a large reason that this agreement was reached today. But more importantly, you should recognize that it's your dreams that built this facility, and it's your dreams that will continue to see it successful and hopefully bring the Olympics back here where one day you can skate and become a champion.
Thank you for being here. This is a great day, and it's a great opportunity for us to show what happens when we have communication, cooperation, and collaboration. When a county and a city can come together and work through processes instead of throwing it into innuendos or personalities. If we were to do that on a regular basis, and I would think so, and I want to thank your mayor, Mayor Kafusi, and the city council for doing just that with us, having that communication, sitting down and working through a process that can be, kind of touchy at times, back and forth, but it allows for us to actually move forward. I thank the mayor and of course the city council for that dialogue, and I hope that as we continue to do this in Utah County, we'll find productive ways in which we can move and go forward. I've got right here the interlocal agreement, and I know that for the youth here, it's all about being able to come and skate. It's not so much about the numbers, it's about coming and skating and enjoying this great facility. And it's been managed very well, and it's probably at one of its best positions it's been in for a long, long time. But for the adults and some of the others, they probably want to know a little bit about the details of what this agreement actually means. So I'm going to do just kind of a high level, talking about numbers and what this looks like. The mayor talked a little bit about the history of the facility, what the facility is doing, and the ISA is our ice skating authority board that was set up. So as of June 20th, 2018, that board will be dissolved, and everything will then turn over to the city. The city will be able to manage it. That ISA board will then be gone. The bill of sale will be given to the city. The city has it, and everything will happen from there. So effective June 20th, 2018, the ISA shall be dissolved, and then they will become the sole. They're talking about the county's limited ongoing financial obligations. We have, through our TRCC fund and our TRT fund, have committed to Provo City $50,000 a year for 10 years to help that smooth that glide so that they can get their legs underneath them when it comes to running the facility solely. And that's going to be in there. And it'll be, then from there, the use of the funds will be solely for capital expenditures. We move on and talk about the currently held funds, as we work together as a partnership, there are funds that come in that are in an account for capital improvements and so forth. Those will become at the discretion of the city. The city will have those funds to use and to operate. And granted the city as full ownership and management of the facility. Uses and rights. This was one that the county really wanted to have in place. I'm just going to read it. It says, for the duration of this agreement, the city agrees to treat all county residents the same as the city residents with respect to admissions and usage fees specifically to the facility and the right and ability to schedule the facility. This provision does not apply to any admission or usage fees that are granted access to one or more facilities in addition to the facility, if such exist or are later instituted. So the county residents will be able to come here and skate as long as the county has an interest here. We'll still have some ownership in it, in the sense of just money, not management, not the facilities itself. The city can do whatever they want with the naming of the facility. They can name it whatever. The city will indemnify us so that we don't have any liability in this case. All the liability will be upon the city. We did agree upon a value. The value of the assets, half of the value is $4.95 million, which the county will, that's the portion that the county has in place as we go through a 50-year process of reducing that or eliminating that along the way. And I see a lawyer here, so if I ever speak out of turn, just let me know. There's a maximum of 50 years for this agreement, in which period of time there will be a 50% reduction in capital improvement projects that may happen along the way. Or if the city at any point in time decided they want to just buy us completely out, that will happen. So those are just kind of the highlights of the agreement that we worked down through. But I think overall, the important thing is that this facility is going to stay in use for skating, for hockey, for some of the soccer, for the indoor facilities that are here, and for the county and Provo City to be using on a regular basis. It's a fantastic facility, and again, I just want to applaud all those who have worked together in a communicative, cooperative way, and even compromise was given back and forth so that we can get to this point. And so, thank you for being here, and hopefully you have lots of skating into the future. Thank you.
It is an amazing day for me to be here in Provo and to experience this. As I look around the room, I see so many people that have been involved in this, and it has been a lot of work. One thing I've learned through this process is that people go into these type of talks with the best of intentions. Sometimes we might disagree on certain things. And what's so important is, like Mayor Capuzzi said and the commissioners mentioned, is that we sit down in a spirit of cooperation, in a spirit where we know that ultimately the good of the community is what we're all striving for. And that's what took place. I have a few jokes that I might say about attorneys, but I am grateful for the attorneys that have been involved in this. They have really worked hard. They're so knowledgeable, and they have done this right. They have worked things out and been able to explain it to people where we understand, and we do believe that this is the right thing for our community, for the city and the county. What a wonderful thing. As far as naming rights, I got a few in mind. We might think about Capuzzi, Lee, Ivy, skating rink. This is an amazing place. It's a wonderful thing to be involved in this. I see the skates here, and I told them I'm fascinated with skating. It's football without the field. You got to stand up, and on hockey, you got to stand up and do the things. And the beauty of skating, I am so grateful that we will have people here that will actually be able to improve those talents and improve themselves through it. I am grateful for all the hard work that has gone into this, and I look forward to our Parks and Rec department. I see them here. They do an amazing job. If you think about we had hoped to have a rec center that we wouldn't have to give a lot of money to, that we wouldn't have to subsidize very much. And yet, now I look what I expect. Sorry guys, a lot of expectations. We think this is going to be so much better because they will have complete control and will be able to do the things that they do so well, like Commissioner Ivey said, and Commissioner Lee said. Thank you again for being here today. Thank you for coming and using this. Tell your friends, we want this to be a spectacular place in Provo City. Thank you so much.
I don't know why microphones make me so nervous, but did you see that? I'm like, should I touch it? Should I not? I don't know what to do with it, so I'm not going to touch it. At this point, we'd like to introduce Colin Hilton. He is a member of the Utah Olympic Exploratory Committee, and we'd like to ask him to come and say a few remarks.
Well, good afternoon, and I was so glad to get the call yesterday about this press announcement this afternoon. So I run the Utah Olympic Legacy Foundation, but also chaired the Venue Outreach Committee for the recent Utah Olympic exploratory efforts that I'm sure you have seen the news. Utah is looking to position to bring games back, and I would have to say one of the hallmarks for Utah following the 2002 games is our legacy. It's a living legacy of active uses of these Olympic venues. And when the news a year ago was a worry about having a facility not continue, we actively wanted to jump in and say, please, let's get that figured out. And I'm so happy to hear that that is now resolved, because it really allows us to continue to tell our story of how many uses these Olympic venues are having with young kids and programs, and so many community uses of Olympic venues that around the world you don't hear those stories. We are pioneering a legacy effort in this state that other countries who are about to host Olympics come visit to Utah to hear our stories. And so Scott Henderson and Jake, who run this building, the amount of increased uses is amazing, and that is not the story of other countries. And that's why we think we have existing facilities here in Utah. We're busier today in use of these facilities than we were right after '02. And why wouldn't we have an Olympics return to our state? So I appreciate and applaud the efforts of the elected officials here in Utah County and the city of Provo, and know that our Olympic exploratory efforts are looking bright by having all the communities throughout Utah really getting behind and standing up to support these ongoing Olympic venue efforts. So thank you very much.
So it is a great day in Provo, and it's a great day to be an ice skater and a hockey player. We can hear them in the back, and all the people that take advantage of this wonderful venue. We are so grateful that we get to keep it, and we get to keep it up and running and make it bigger and better than it's ever been before. At this point, I would like to open it up for a few minutes to questions. I'll have Commissioner Ivey come up and Bill Lee, Commissioner Lee, to answer. If anyone has any questions, feel free to kind of shout them out.
Excellent question, Katie. Katie, if you couldn't hear her, asked about at the end of the 10-year period when Utah County's contractual obligations up, what will be our continued role. We've dedicated the $500,000 for the ongoing that's dispersed through the 10 years. Following that particular point in time, the Provo City for the ice arena will be able to apply for TRCC and TRT funding for any type of major renovations or work that the facility needs, and those would be awarded through our process there. So we'll still be actively engaged in supporting the facility. We'll just go through our normal process of awarding those grant monies for recreation. So we own our portion of the facility after that 10-year period, unless Provo City buys us outright or works through the processes defined in the contract that would pay down our percentage of it.
I think you need to note, though, that the management of the facility all the way through is Provo City. The only thing that we have is an interest, because the county residents, all of the county residents, we've paid off the bonds, we've paid into this facility, and so there's a value in there, and we just identify the value as being that $4.9 million that we have in there. And so as that's either being paid back or during that process in time through capital improvements is reduced, and then it maybe after the 50 years and that two point something million dollars is paid, there is an interest that Utah County has, but it has no liability, has no management, and nothing on there by contract that the county can reach back in.
Any other questions? Okay, Katie.
Is that 50 years? Or 50 years or along the process? They can pay, they can buy ink, they can buy ink. They can purchase it, they can purchase this out anytime along that process. But as capital improvements are done, it will start to tick down that $4.9 million to a bottom level of I don't remember the numbers on it. It's like half. It's like half of that. So at the 50-year mark, then there would be a payment that would need to be paid to Utah County for that half mark. For what's left over. Yes.
And maybe just for clarification, Katie, the purchase out process is a 50-year process. Our continued grant money is for the 10 years. I think that you just want to make sure that that's clear. Our continued grant funding is for 10 years. And the buyout process is a 50-year process. It'll be our Provo's. They write us the check for the 2 point whatever is remaining, and then it's completely owned by Provo.
If the Olympics were to return, would Utah County step back in, or would it still be mostly up to Provo?
So if the Olympics come back in, you wouldn't notice a change as far as the contract. Obviously, what we would have the opportunity to do if we needed to give the facility a facelift or to help with anything, Provo would be able to apply for the grant funding through our recreation grant process, and I would highly anticipate that would be a high-ranked project and receive the funding to help the facility be Olympic ready.
Also along with that, if, for instance, the Olympics came and there was a rush of money that came in, let's just say there was $1 million that came in, Utah County does not benefit from that $1 million if it becomes over and above. That would all be Provo Cities. So there's not a sharing in profits or anything like that. That would all be Provo Cities.
So that's an interesting question. The 10-year thing is, I think, kind of throwing people off, and the 50-year thing. So for 10 years, they'll be paying into $50,000 a year. And at 50 years, we pay them off. But I'm just going to say the goal of the city is to have them paid off long before that. That's our goal, is that it will be a done deal, and I feel comfortable, the city will feel comfortable, because it's been a great partnership at this point, working with the county commissioners. Any other questions? Okay. Does Mayor Kafusi skate? Like I've said, I'm the most clumsy person in the world, but I am not afraid to put on some skates and go around the edge. As long as the commissioners go with me, we can all hold hands and do a loop.
As long as the mayor comes and does some slalom racing with me, we'll put on some ice skates.
Okay, we'll go ahead and do the signing. So I think the documents are. All right, that concludes our press conference. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We really appreciate it, and we look forward to seeing you out on the ice.